Bring our hands together at our heart. Take a moment to look into each other's eyes. And we can bring our foreheads together and then hang on to each other for a moment. Feeling the energy pass through from one to the other. Slowly release, and we'll turn around and go back to back. Same position for the legs. And so just make sure that the spines are comfortably elongated, so no one's leaning too much on the other, so there's an even weight balance between you. And then we'll put the heads together for a moment. Close the eyes. Let's focus on the breath for a minute. So as you inhale, bring the breath all the way to the bottom of your lungs. You could even put your hand on your upper belly. And as you inhale, filling up this area with the breath. And exhale, slowly release the air. Inhale, filling up to the bottom of the lungs. Exhale slowly. Breathing into the sides of the lungs. It can be helpful to bring your hands to the bottom of the side ribs. Filling the front and the sides with the breath. And also filling the back of the lungs, so maybe sliding the hands just between you for a moment, just to recognize where you're looking to take the breath. And inhale, filling the front, filling the sides, filling the back. And then release the hands, bring them back to the thighs, and continue breathing just for another moment like this. Okay, so from here, one will lean back while the other leans forward. So Dean, you're going to lean forward nice and slow, and I'm going to bring my hands behind my head and open up my chest, laying my head and chest onto his back. And we're both going to continue our deep breathing. When it's time to come up, the person leaning forward is going to use the hands on the floor to push themselves up. Both of you come together. Stay connected as much as possible all the way through. Lower the arms. and prepare to go in the opposite direction. So I'm going to start to lean forward and Dean's going to start to lean back. And then he'll bring his hands behind his head and let the elbows drop open. Yeah. So this is really good for both parties. One's getting a hip stretch and a low back release, and the other one is getting an upper back opening and a shoulder release. And they're both taking deep breaths. Make sure you communicate between the two of you to make sure everyone is feeling comfortable. And if not, then it's time to come out. Make sure the person leaning forward is only in as far as they can handle it. And then we'll slowly, you just relax there and I'll be pushing you up. And then we pause in the middle. We're going to work on some side bending. So let's bring the arms out to the sides, up higher, and hook with my arms. If you can't hang onto the hands, then you're going to grasp the wrists, and then we're going to bend over to one side. So the one side we're bending to, the hands can support on the floor, and the head goes with this bend. We'll take a few deep breaths. We're going to extend the arms way up over the head. Make sure you're not arching your back. Not leaning too far into your partner. That's good. And then slowly coming back up. And we'll switch to the other side. Deep breaths. Very good. Slowly coming up. And then lower the arms. And then make sure you're back to back. And we're going to do a little bit of a twist. So I'm going to reach back and grab onto Dean's right knee, and Dean's going to do the same for me. And my hand will be on my left knee, and Dean's hand will be on his left knee. We're going to sit up tall, inhale, lift. And we're both going to look back over our left shoulder. Deep breaths. And slowly release. And then we'll switch. So I'm hanging on to Dean's left knee and he's hanging on to mine. And then our hands are each on our own right knee. Inhale, lift. Exhale, looking over the right shoulder. And slowly release, coming back to center. And I'm going to turn around and do a twist in the forward facing position. So let's come back to cross-legged position facing each other. Remember this one? So bring your left hand behind your back. Reach for my left hand with your right hand. Yes. And I'll do the same. Okay, first we lift up tall, inhale. Exhale, twist to look back. Deep breaths. Is everything okay? Let's take one more deep breath. And then slowly turn back to face each other, but keep the hands clasped. And then we lean over towards the opposite person's thigh. When you're ready, you're going to slowly pull yourself out. Use your abdominal muscles rounding your back to come up. And then release the grip. Bring the right hand behind the back. Clasp for your partners. Okay. And then pull up. And then look back. Inhale fully. Make sure you're not pulling too hard on your partner's shoulders. There could be some injuries. Keep the chest lifted. That's it. Take one more deep breath. And then we'll turn to face each other again. This time we're leaning onto the opposite thigh. The elbows come up over the back. And the head rests down on the thigh. Deep breath. Slowly come back up. And release the grips. Very good. So let's start with you extending your right leg out and me extending my right leg out. But you want your right foot to be on my left knee. So you'll need to shift that way a little bit. So my right foot is on your left knee and your right foot is on my left knee. And the leg is extended out more. I can accommodate a little bit further. There we go. Okay, so let's clasp the right hands. And let's lean with the opposite arm up towards our extended leg. So we're taking some long deep breaths here. Slowly coming back up. And then we'll need to switch the legs. Clasping the left arms, raising the right arms, and leaning over towards the extended leg. So make sure you're holding tightly onto the left arm at whatever point is necessary for you to maintain balance. And slowly coming up. Okay. So now we're going to do the hamstring stretch. So come back to the middle again. And we're not going to be too close to each other, but when our knees are bent, we can touch feet like so. So if this feels like a comfortable place to be, then that might be a good place to start. If not, then you might need to move back a little farther. So let's see how this goes. The size of the feet will make a difference in where you place your toes against your partner's, but you'll figure it out. So we're holding on to each other's wrists, and we're going to extend your left leg, my right leg. So I'm going to lift it up towards the ceiling, and then we're just going to allow the hamstring to release slowly without pushing it, without rushing it. So would you say we're too close together for this? Okay. So the knees don't have to extend all the way for there to be a stretch. Just take some deep breaths, lift the chest. Usually holding for about a minute is a good amount of time. And then let's slowly bring this foot back down. Good. And we'll extend the opposite leg. Deep breaths. And then we'll bring it down. Now, so you have options for the next one. You can try both legs at the same time or do one and then the other. So I think we'll try both legs at the same time. It is a bit more challenging though. So we gotta lean back a little bit, push into both feet. Can't push into the other one. There we go. Now, okay, so we're here. This is a good place to start. And then we'll slowly extend the legs. So is that working for you? Okay. Lift the chest, take deep breaths. It's good. It's finally releasing and settling in. So we're going to try bringing your left foot out to the outside of the arm and out to the side. That's good. This is tricky. Keep grasping onto the hands. Let's do the other leg. All right. Now lift the chest. Breathe. Do I have you strongly enough? Okay. pretty intense. Okay, we're going to go the other way now, bringing it back in and up and in and up. Very good. And then bend the knees. Very slowly. Do your best to bring the heels down gently and release. Let's do open leg stretch. So my legs are not as long as Dean's legs. Dean, come a little closer. There we go. Okay, now let's do cross grasp. And then pull up tall. And now my legs need to move a little bit more, and so my feet are going to move out further along his legs. Does it feel okay? Okay, so do you want to come toward me first? Just use your abdominal muscles to keep you in alignment. I'm going to lean back, but I'm not pulling you too hard, right? Okay, deep breaths. So you can be here as long as you like, but I'd say a minute is a good amount of time. Take another deep breath. And then let's slowly come up. And we'll do the same thing in the opposite direction. So I come in pretty deep. And so I'm going to be leaning on you a little bit like this. So as we come in, you're leaning back. Okay, that's a good place. If you can just hang in there and lean back comfortably, that would be a good place to hold. And we can slowly make our way out. I can't pull you. Yeah. Okay. And release. Bring the soles of the feet together, coming into bound angle. So basically we're just leaning towards each other. Let's clasp over the shoulders. And foreheads and heads come together, and we'll just hang out here for a little bit. Deep breaths. little bit of a shoulder stretch and a hamstring stretch. So from here, we're going to step quite a bit far apart. And then let our bodies drop forward, allowing the shoulders to release. Deep breaths. And then slowly drop the arms to the floor. Come into a standing forward bend. Take a few breaths. And then bend the knees, rolling up one vertebra at a time. Let the head be the last thing to come up. Very good. And then we'll do tree pose. So standing beside your partner, not too close because there's going to be a lean in towards each other. Wrap your arms that are beside each other around the other. And then we're going to pick up the foot that is facing to the outside. And then we can place it below the knee or above the knee. And then we'll bring our hands together. So finding balance here. Deep breaths. And then you can extend this arm up. You won't always make it all the way up depending on your length. Very nice. And slowly come down. You can also try this on the other side. So let's switch sides. Remember, a good distance between you because you'll be leaning in towards each other. And then wrap the arms around. Pick up your outer leg, place it below or above the knee. And then bring the hands together. Smiling. And then let's raise the arm over the head. Very good. So we're going to come to the floor now. So in this pose, we're going to have a little bit of a back bend. You come sit cross-legged, almost back to back. Your hips are touching. Okay, so then we open the legs wide. And I'm going to move a little bit more forward. You don't move at all.
I have to move forward.
Oh, I see. Okay, then I have to move more forward. Okay, so now you're going to lay back over my thigh, right? So that's good. And then I'm going to lay back over his thigh. And then we're in our back bend. Deep breaths. And then to come out, we're going to reach for each other's hand and we'll pull ourselves up. Not too bad. Okay, now bend your knees, place your feet on the floor, and come a little closer. Now, you're going to lean back onto my thighs, and I'm going to lean back onto yours. So, yeah, there we go. So this is more of a relaxing position. Almost like Shavasana, but not quite. So it's time to have a conversation. Thank you. Very comfortable. And finally move into our final relaxation. So coming out of this, so now we're going to slide back onto the mat into Shavasana in such a way that my foot fits in between his arm and body, and his foot fits between my arm and body. And if you have something like an eye pillow to drape over the eyes, that can be very helpful in staying in a relaxed state for longer. So just hang on to your partner's leg. Relax the rest of your body down toward the floor. Release any holding in the jaw. Relaxing the arms, legs. Breathing deeply. I'm going to remove the eye pillow and gently rock the head from side to side. Reach the arms overhead, take a long stretch. And then bring the knees into the chest, giving them a hug. You can rock a little bit. And we'll roll to our right side and pause here for a moment. Letting the head hang, roll forward enough to press down easily into the arms, rounding the back, pushing yourself up. And then we'll come to sit cross-legged. And come closer to you. I'm going to put my right hand on your heart center, and you're going to put your right hand on my heart center. And then we're going to bring our left palms together. Namaste. Now, you're going to lay back over this thigh, right? And I'm going to lay back over that thigh. And then we come into back bend. Okay, that one hurt. Oh. Okay, let's try the starfish version